Welcome back. When I started reading our translation by J.B. Phillips of the Gospel of Mark, um, this is the entire New Testament, um, not just the Gospel of Mark. Um, I gave in my introduction, and I said that his language, though colloquial, has stood the test of time. And in most ways, it has. Um, as I was reading through yesterday and a couple of the days before, it occurred to me there's been one change that is glaringly obvious, and that is that Phillips still uses the term man to mean uh, all, all human beings, or men to mean everybody, as opposed to men and women, or humans, or people, or persons. And I'm going to continue using his translation in his words. But I do want to say that let's be um, clear that um, this is not meant to be cutting anybody out or letting anybody off the hook. It doesn't include dogs, though. Sorry, guys. Anyhow, let me start chapter 4. Then once again, he began to teach them by the lakeside. A bigger crowd than ever collected around him, so that he got into the small boat on the lake and sat down while the crowd covered the ground right down to the water's edge. He taught them a great deal in parables. And in the course of his teaching, he said, "Listen, a man once went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some seed fell by the roadside, and the birds came and gobbled it up. Some of the seed fell among the rocks, where there was not much soil, and sprang up very quickly, because there was no depth of earth. But when the sun rose, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some of the seed fell among thorn bushes, and the thorns grew up and choked the life out of it, and it bore no crop. And there was some seed which fell on good soil, and when it sprang up and grew, produced a crop which yielded 30 or 60 or even 100 times as much as the seed." Then he added, "Every man who has ears should use them." Then when they were by themselves, his close followers and the 12 asked him about the parables, and he told them, "The secret of the kingdom of God has been given to you. But to those who do not know the secret, everything remains in parables, so that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest haply they should turn again and it should be forgiven them." Then he continued, "Do you really not understand this parable? Then how are you going to understand all the other parables? The man who sows, sows the message. As for those who are by the roadside where the message is sown, as soon as they hear it, Satan comes at once and takes away what has been sown in their minds. Similarly, the seed sown among the rocks represents those who hear the message without hesitation and accept it joyfully. But they have no real roots and do not last. When trouble or persecution arises because of the message, they give up their faith at once. Then there were the seeds which were sown among the thorn bushes. These are the people who hear the message, but the worries of this world and the false glamour of riches and all sorts of other ambitions creep in and choke the life out of what they have heard, and it produces no crop in their lives. As for the seed sown on good soil, this means the men who hear the message and accept it and do produce a crop, 30, 60, even 100 times as much as they received.